morning everybody. On behalf of the Bengal Academy of Applied Homeopathy, I do like to welcome all of you. Our today's topic is thyroidinum. Actually, I do like to share my experiences on thyroidinum, what I have gained for last 31 or 32 years during my clinical practice. You all know thyroid as a hormone having influence over the mechanism of the organ of nutrition, growth and development. Generally, thyroidinum medicine is suited to thin-built person with prominent eyes and nervous temperament, though not contraindicated in obese persons. Puffiness of the face of the patients, those who are frequently suffer from angioneurotic edema, in that patients also we may safely use this medicine. Thyroidinum is a charcoal prepared from fresh or dried thyroid gland of sheep or calf. In Kolkata, the then very reputed and acclaimed physician Dr. S.K. Ghosh proved this medicine, and he introduced a very good number of symptoms as well as he clinically verified this medicine during his clinical practice. Regarding symptoms, what we are getting in favor of thyroidinum, there are three sources: toxicological, proving and clinical. If we consider the dynamic effect of thyroidinum, that is the proving symptoms, in dynamic plane this remedy is very effective when the symptoms have in the background a deep and complex metabolic disturbance with loss of neurogenic and cardiovascular balance. Once again, I am repeating, whenever we are using thyroidinum in potentized form, is a very effective remedy when the symptoms have in the background a deep and complex metabolic disturbance with loss of neurogenic and cardiovascular balance. Mostly symptoms manifested as functional maladjustment and imbalance. Now I am telling about the stages of life of thyroidinum patient. Thyroidinum as a hormone exercises a general regulating influence over the mechanism of the organs of nutrition, growth and development. And loss of balance in the human economy due to any grave disease, strain, climatic variation, mental and emotional factors during developmental stage of life is a very important clue for thyroidinum prescription. I have already told regarding the adaptability, suits mostly thin-built persons, those who are nervous temperament. Sexual abuse and indulgence may be counted as the cause of thyroidinum prescription. This medicine is seldom indicated in febrile state. Keep in mind, where the patient is recurrently suffering from fever, in that case, we should be very much cautious about the prescription of thyroidinum where the patient is suffering from recurrent attack of fever. Now, as we are taking our case in our daily practice, apart from chief complaint, whenever we are completing the present complaint part, then generally you go forward for the history part, past history, family history, personal history, etc. For thyroidinum prescription, if we consider this medicine from phenomenological point of view, cause and effect of the cause is to be correlated properly. Then only we prescribe thyroidinum and we may successfully use it in our daily practice for so-called incurable inveterate cases. So as per case record format, now the things we should consider after getting the present complaint. What is the past history you are having? Regarding thyroidinum, what are the past history generally we are getting? First thing is premature underweight baby. The very important point. Premature underweight baby. Convulsion in childhood without history of fever or trauma. We may get history of convulsion in childhood with fever, high rise of temperature. We may also get history of convulsion in childhood, those who have got trauma in head. But for thyroidinum prescription, both the cases should be excluded. Convulsion without fever, convulsion without trauma. Another important past history is severe neonatal jaundice. In our daily practice, we come across a good number of infants and child. Despite of giving so-called apparently correct remedy, we are not getting the desired result. But on inquiry, if we get the particular child or infant having a past history of severe neonatal jaundice, in that case, thyroidinum would be our good choice. Another important past history is any type of metabolic disorder. It may be diabetes mellitus, it may be gout, etc. And allergy in any form. Angioneuritic edema, urticaria, eczema, allergic rhinitis, allergic bronchospasm, asthma, etc. may be the important past history for thyroidinum prescription. Now we are going forward, especially for children, we are asking about the state of health of mother during pregnancy. In terms, it would be labeled as gestational history. For thyroidinum prescription, gestational history is very important. First and foremost point is preeclampsia or eclampsia of mother. Actually, what is happening in recent time, due to exclusive antenatal care, chances of eclampsia is less. So, what would be the history we may get from those patients? Patient may not suffer, mother may not suffer from eclampsia or preeclampsia, but if she suffers from hypertension, edema of feet, or toxemia of pregnancy, that is very important clue for thyroidinum prescription in the perspective of gestational history. Now I am sharing my experience. Toxoplasma, both IgG and IgM torch, if it be more than 1.11, that is positive, it favors prescription for the offspring. In a severe autistic child, there is no such prescribing symptom for prescription of homeopathic medicine for that particular child. But I got the mother suffered from toxoplasma trouble, that is, its torch was positive, and considering a few symptoms with this past history, thyroidinum was prescribed, and within 1 year we got the beautiful response of this medicine, and that particular child developed socialization, verbal communication, etc. Another important point is hypertension of mother during pregnancy, diabetes mellitus of mother during pregnancy, that is gestational diabetes, any allergic skin eruption. In this connection, I do like to share one of my case. That girl was suffering from bronchial asthma. Actually, she was girl of one of my colleague, and my colleague treated her girl, her daughter, considering all the presenting symptoms with nectam salt, basilinum, etc. But it was recurring from slight change of weather or any other mental or physical exertion. She got fresh attack of bronchial asthma. Then, considering the allergic skin eruption of mother, throughout the pregnancy, mother badly suffered from that skin eruption, and as she was suffered badly, the gynecologist advised some ointment to get relief temporarily. When considering that gestational history and few presenting symptoms favoring thyroidinum, I prescribed thyroidinum. Getting it, that particular girl developed skin eruption in different parts of her body, and with utter surprise, her mother informed me, "Sir, actually, I could remember whenever I was suffering from this type of skin eruption during my pregnancy and did not get relief, and it was being suppressed with ointment. Now, almost similar eruption has been appeared on my daughter's skin. And after that, almost 4 to 5 months, there are no requirement of giving any medicine, and following which her constitutional medicine, nectam salt, acted very effectively. Another important point I do like to incorporate as gestational history, the suffering from hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism during or before the pregnancy. And in spite of taking therapy, if we get the history of suffering from hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism before or during pregnancy, in those cases also, it's a very good clue for prescription of thyroidinum. In this connection, I am also happy to share a baby aged about 6 months was suffering from chronic diarrhea, and according to symptom similarity and totality, the medicine was Maccar, and getting Maccar, every time he was improving, but within a few days relapsing again and again. Now, considering the history, gestational history of mother, and she was suffering from hypothyroidism throughout the pregnancy and under allopathic medication, I prescribed thyroidinum 200, and getting thyroidinum 200, the baby was cured. Now we are going forward. Another important clue for thyroidinum prescription: whatever points we have narrated in gestational history, everything should be incorporated. Apart from that, family members suffering from various allergic disorders, it may be urticaria, it may be asthma, it may be allergic rhinitis, it may be eczema, etc. History of diabetes, gout, or any other metabolic disorder in the family. History of puerperial complication of mother. Mostly or generally, whenever we are getting the history of puerperial complication of mother, we are in a habit to prescribe pyrogen. But apart from pyrogen, considering the cause and effect of the cause, that is the manifestation of thyroidinum symptoms, if we prescribe thyroidinum, it will also help a lot. Another important point of family history of tendency to miscarriage, stillbirth, and premature birth in family. Last but not the least, autoimmune disease in family. Regarding personal history, never well since for the person concerned. Never well since a very important past history. Whenever any patient is suffering from any chronic ailments, and considering the apparent totality we are prescribing, but medicine is not acting or helping as we desiring, in that case, never well since the very important clue for prescription. For thyroidinum, patient never well since having thyroid trouble. Patient never well since eclampsia or pre-eclampsia during pregnancy. Patient never well since miscarriage. Patient never well since neonatal jaundice. Patient never well since grave diseases during adolescent period. Patient never well since sexual overindulgence. Patient never well since being toxoplasma positive, puerperial complication, etc. Now I like to share about the effect of the cause. Getting all this history in a particular constitution, what are the effects of the cause we are getting as physical genetics and mental genetics? If we consider physical genetics of thyroidinum, that is the effect of the cause point of view, patient are generally chilly, but may be used for hot patient also, rarely, having thyroidinum past history or family history. Regarding appetite, I have repeatedly clinically verified voracious appetite, insatiable, but with tendency to emaciation. In selected case, we get obese patient, but like tuberculinum, like iodium, they are having voracious appetite, insatiable desire to take food with emaciation. Desire for sweet, as good as sulfur, as good as sorinum, as good as argentum nitricum, desire for sweet, but with weakness. Aversion to greasy food, thirst for cold water. Another important point regarding physical genetics, sensation of heat and flushing. Patient is complaining. Sometimes I am having a subjective sensation of flushing and heat from my ears, even all over the body. Emaciation or tendency to obesity in proportionate to age. This is also repeatedly clinically verified by me for the last 30 years. Aggravation of complaints during menses or pregnancy. That is very important point. If we consider physical genetics, most of the thyroidenum patient, whatever may be the complaint, it is being aggravated during menses or pregnancy. They are very lethargic and sleepy, and always, mostly and generally, they are having tendency to suffer from different type of allergic diseases. Now I am telling about the mental genetics. Generally, the patient are very much indifferent. And few patients may be mentally retarded, despair of recovery, like sorinum. Stupor alternates with restlessness. Sometimes they become very much silent and calm and quiet, alternating with restlessness. We are also getting a peculiar mental attitude in thyroidenum patient, laughing tendency to herself without any cause. They laughs. Cheerfulness alternates with sadness. This symptom also I have repeatedly clinically verified in my daily practice. They are very anxious, anxiety with palpitation and discomfort in chest. Already we have told about the sensation of heat in physical genetics, along with internal flushing and sensation of heat. One thing we should remember, whenever the thyroidenum patient become excited, then the internal flushing may come on. Contradiction intolerance, especially any type of opposition, hardly they could bear. Today I do like to conclude thyroidenum as a reactive remedy. When well indicated remedy fails, but patient having past or family history of allergy or any metabolic disorder, history of toxemia, thyroid troubles, skin eruption, raised blood sugar, hypertension of mother during pregnancy, patient is chilly and lacking vital heat, but frequently suffer from internal flushing. In female lives, complaints aggravation before and during menses. In selected cases, diseases associated with obesity. Having severe mental stress may cause metabolic disorder. Any grave disease in puberty. In those cases, if we do not get similarity with particulars of thyroidinum, logical sequence of development of presenting symptom is to be considered in the perspective of phenomenology. That is, cause and effect of the cause. When well-selected remedy fail, or more than one medicine is apparently indicated, or even no medicine is truly indicated, only having history of thyroidinum background, it acts well as an intercurrent reactive remedy. In selected cases, it may cure, otherwise, will at least unlock the door of cure. In diabetes patients, those who are chilly in nature, with family history of great and difficult disease, when well-selected remedy does not effect favorable action, thyroidinum in high potency may be used as reactive remedy. It is one of the remedy may be thought of with acid phos, silicea, sorinum, tuberculinum, sulfur, and carcinosin. Now I am telling about the caution. Without considering the phenomenology, that is cause and effect of the cause, just to control thyroid disorder, prolonged use of thyroidinum in low potency should not be indulged. It may lead to toxicity and manifested as headache, palpitation, tremor, excessive sweating, even increased heart rate. This medicine should not be continued when after administration a febrile condition is precipitated. The very important point for prognostic value of thyroidinum, whenever we are using thyroidinum in any patient, after getting thyroidinum, even if febrile condition precipitated, the prognostic value is poor. In contrary, whenever we are using carcinosin, within 10 to 12 days, if any slight febrile condition develops, it is encouraging. Not to be used immediate after fever resulting from acute infectious disease, rather, better to use after fever stops and body economics in condition to cope up the situation. Otherwise, it may complicate the case. In any case, where immune suppression takes place, it should be administered very cautiously. In any known tubercular case, it may cause weight loss. Even latent tuberculosis may be active after getting this medicine. In the next class, we will narrate about details of thyroidinum from mind, head, eye, ear, nose, face, etc. for particular symptoms, and along with I will be happy to share my experiences with few cases in the second part of thyroidinum. Thank all of you for your patience hearing. Once again, I am reminding you, thyroid is a very good medicine, Sarcode, but generally it is being abused in our daily practice. I am requesting all of you to go through thyroidinum at least from Dr. S.K. Ghosh and from different source books, and whatever experience I got during last 30 years on thyroidinum, consisting all have published a small little book in the name of An Exposition on Thyroidinum. You may also go through this book to get idea about thyroid numb. Thank all of you.